let's talk about Gears of War. And when I say Gears of War, I mean the entire series of the video games. So, I had come to know it back in July of 2016, or a little bit earlier before that, because I used to work off and on for Xbox and Microsoft, and that was one of the games that we were going to be spotlighting was Gears of War 4. So in doing that, I purchased Gears of War 1 and got prepared and instantly fell in love with it. It's very much like a Call of Duty as it's a war game. You're playing against aliens for the most part, or just creatures, I guess I'd say. But fun. The graphics are really good, but it comes from a series. So I was playing one in about 4 hadn't been released yet, so it was 1, 2, 3, and then there's another one called, I think, Judgment. So there's several games in the series, so I just bought a revamped version of the first one, and I was playing that even the days that I worked the actual event at Comic-Con in San Diego last year, which shout outs to my friend Jennifer and to Bree and to Jerry. Miss you guys. I wish I could have done that whole thing with you guys. But unfortunately that's when I got sick. So I did after that got the Gears of War 4 exclusive Xbox One S console that came with a bunch of cool little treats, as well as it came with all of the games before, which is just one of the cool things about Xbox and Microsoft is that they've started to make the games or the systems backward compatible, so you can play the games from Xbox 360 and Xbox One. So for free, I got 1, 2, 3, and then Judgment. I think the off one, and that all came with the console with the purchase, and of course that's 4 came with that. So I started to play 1 and I got stuck. I should probably check and see where the settings are on that, and that's going to come into some super importance very shortly, because I feel like I'm in the final chapter of the first one, which was super fun, and there were some really cool things, like there's a cart part of it where I'm in a mine, I'm in a cart shooting at stuff, so that was really cool, like really neat, different things as far as not just going around shooting at stuff and killing stuff and walking around, actually going into different environments and riding motorcycles and stuff like that. Throughout the games there's different stuff, so I played 1 until I got stuck. It just got too hard for me because, with my condition and stuff, I can't get too stressed out or too crazy about stuff because it does exacerbate symptoms for me. So then I jumped onto 2, and apparently I had left off on 2 where I got stuck to. So then I moved on to 3, got stuck there, and I think that on Judgment, I don't think I've revisited that yet because I jumped onto 4 and I've just been, going through that. So what's super funny about 4 is it's great because, spoiler alert, there are characters from the previous ones that come up in this that it just was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. But more importantly is there was just an update on the game done, so I had to update the game before I proceeded with it. And I guess that update must have put me on the hardcore level, which, again, can't really do that with my symptoms, and I'm really not that good. So normally when I play a game, if it's the first in the series, I'll just go with whatever the smallest, like casual is what it's on. And then if I finish that game and then go on to another one, then I'll put it at normal and just kind of work my way up. But if it gets too hard, then obviously I'll bring it back down. So I think with the new update, it put me on a hardcore. Because as I was playing it, I noticed when I got to one of the chapters, it said hardcore in parentheses, and I was like, what is that? So then I went down to the settings, and sure enough, the default settings right now are hardcore. So I pushed it back down to casual. Unfortunately, that did make me restart the chapter that I was on again, but apparently I hadn't been through a whole lot for that chapter, so it was fine, and it seems much easier. Still challenging, but much easier. So that's my Gears of War for now.